It is good to be here with you this evening. We see it as a lovely room full of troublemakers. Are you present?
Yes. Yes.
Are you enjoying how you are present?
Yes.
And are you open to receive what it is that you have been asking for?
Yes.
It might not sound like what you want to hear. It might not sound like what you have wanted to hear, but it will be something that your heart is willing to receive. So, before we share any messages, Charlie, at least she used to ask us, so what is it that you're going to speak about? Because in her there was a little bit of distrust. And so the more and more that we've been speaking with her, she's learned to trust. And part of this trust is not really about putting her trust in us, but trusting that she is allowing herself to get out of the way enough for the messages to come in as purely as they are meant to come in. And so, one of the things that we've shared with her to help in this process of learning how to trust is practicing what to trust. See, many humans struggle with trusting because, rightfully so, they do not know what to trust and if they should trust themselves, because so much of who you think you are is not really you, but a sort of collection of memories and experiences and interpretations. And in that, you can get sort of lost, and there's a lot of noise in there. And so, all of you are in here because at some point or another, you decided to sort of sift through this noise and to find a sense of peace, a sense of clarity, a sense of the true you. And the fun part is that the true you is forever evolving, because there is the physical aspect of you that is always experiencing and hearing and touching and feeling, and the non-physical part of you that is expanding because of your physical experience. And so the better you become at sort of being and sifting through this inner noise to find those pieces of truth come in, the better and better you become at trusting, and the more fun your experience is, the more easy and playful your experience is. And so part of this process is a sort of emptying out. Every single day, maybe not every day, but for most of you, all of you have experienced a sort of release that your physical body goes through, an emptying out, all right? We won't go through the details because you all know what it is. And so it is in the same way that you must empty out your consciousness so that you can make space. And what this space does, it creates room for more clarity to come in, a greater sense of not just trust, but well-being. And the more and more that you practice this emptying out, and the more and more space that you create, the greater you expand, and your consciousness not just expands, but it grows its grasp of understanding and compassion. Now, it is not about getting it right. There's no right. From source perspective, there's no judgment. Judgment is a function of physical reality. To some degree, this judgment helps you sort of create structures that allow you to explore more of this physical reality. But for many of you, you experience so much judgment within. And the judgment within, it doesn't end in court, it's forever going. You might blame yourself or someone else, on and on and on and on, and it never ends, even if you give them a sentence. So when we come forth, we know that what we share with you is words, and it's truly your personal experience that allows you to really grasp the truth. Because no matter what you hear, no matter what you read, it is that experience where you feel that you really begin to integrate anything that you have learned from the outer world. And so the most important thing that we share with you is a state of being. A state of being where vibration is flowing, because, as you all know, you are vibrational beings. And as vibrational beings, you are also beings of light. And when you first entered into this physical reality, you came in purely as light, all right? Like the infant guru you were. That is why parents will say, oh, children are such great teachers, because children are not sitting there giving lectures, they are just being in pureness, without judgment. But then for all of you, there is a sort of learning, a domestication that happens. And in that, there's many parts of you that you must sort of shut off and put away in the closet so that you can be accepted by everybody else. And your light becomes distorted in this process. Your perception becomes distorted with all the different messages and stories and lessons and judgments. You are taught through reward and punishment. If you do this, you are good. If you do that, you are bad. And so you learn pretty quickly what parts of you to show to the world and what parts of you to put away in the closet. And then there comes a point where you feel like you are in a box and you want to explode out of it. And there is a sense of chaos and you don't know what to do with it. So you start looking without, mostly, because to look within, it's like looking into that vast chaos, and it's quite threatening, you see. It's quite scary to look in there. What's in there anyways? Most humans do not have a map to sort of navigate this inner world. And so your spiritual masters have shared with you different maps and different processes for you to explore this inner world, because in exploring this inner world, you are truly exploring the cosmos, because every single one of you is truly a reflection of the cosmos. And in this exploration, there is a sense of awareness that grows. The awareness that you are more than just this flesh and blood. The awareness that there is something else and there is something more. And that awareness is exciting, it's fun, it's scary. But that awareness opens a door. And you've got to be willing to walk through the door. All right? Willingness is so key to any kind of seeking, any kind of completion. If you're not willing, you're going to be in a state of fighting all the time. Fighting within, sort of kicking your feet and saying, oh, I don't know if I want this. But if you show up and you say, I am willing, then more doors open up. The universe responds. The cosmos says, all right, you are willing to show up, so we will meet you halfway. And you begin this journey. And what is this journey? It is really about waking yourself up and realizing that so much of who you have been and what you have been has been domestication. And so you start to discover a wilder aspect of you. You start to look at nature. Because nature does not compromise, all right? She does not compromise. Humans have tried to tame nature, but she's pretty good at showing you she's still in charge. And she always will. Because she's also a teacher. But not just a teacher, she's truly a being living in the fullest form, which is what all of you experience at one point or another. And in that experiencing, there is a heightened sense of your reality. Sometimes humans experience this. It's like a high. And they say, how do I get back there? I want to return to this place. I found this place. One way or another, you find it. Oftentimes with the help of Mother Nature or the help of other things. And there's nothing wrong with that. What you are really wanting is to come into a fullness of who you really are. And so this process can be a bit intense because it requires you to look into that inner noise, this inner judge that is always sort of running in the back of your head, reminding you of who you really are. But what it's really reminding you of who the domesticated, conditioned part of you really is. That's why it doesn't feel right, but it's always there. But when you begin to sort of face it and say, you know what, I've had enough of you. I've had enough of you trying to tell me of how I should be and who I should be. Often humans will experience this when they begin to sort of exit this part of their childhood, once they've been conditioned and they feel a rush of nature coming through. And they say, you know, I've had enough. I've had enough of my parents. I've had enough of school. What they are really experiencing is something that you can experience at any point when you awaken, which is truly embracing that there's more to you than your conditioning. There's more to you than your domestication. As a cosmic being, you truly are limitless. You truly are free. But often in that freedom, you choose to live in a prison. But it's not so much that you choose, it's that you are often trained into it. And when you become aware of the choice that has been made for you, you also become aware of the other choices that are available to you. And the more and more that you begin practicing this choice, the more and more that you begin to experience this sense of freedom within. And we are speaking about the freedom within because you humans are very good about this freedom without. You say, I can do my own thing. I can be independent. I don't need anybody else. And you try this for a while and you notice that doesn't work either. Because it's an outside-in way of doing things. But when you approach it from within, from really experiencing this freedom within, you start to notice that your physical environment is here for you to play. It is not a limit to sort of hold you back. Other people are not here to piss you off. They are here so you can play with each other, so you can have fun, so you can explore. Because the more that you explore and the more that you expand, so does the cosmos, all right? Expansion is a natural aspect of the cosmos, and you are a perfect reflection of that. And as you begin to practice this way of being more and more, there grows within you a sense of intent. You don't just blindly go through your day. There is a sense of clarity about saying, you know what, I'm going to go here. I don't always need to know why, or I do not need a reason for it, but I sense a clear direction over here, and over here, and over here, and over here, and over here. And the sense of intent for one way or another has brought you here this evening. We understand that there are things that you'd like to know. And we'd like to assure you that everything that you are wanting to know is already within you. Humanity is a bit in a state of amnesia. And what we mean by this is that as beings who have access to the greatest consciousness, you have access to any and all information. But at some point or another, you want to wake up from this amnesia. And you begin to unlock within yourself ways in which you can download this information. But it's not so much about the information, because you can know everything that you could know, and so much information is already available to you. It is about truly connecting yourself, plugging into the source of the energy, and sort of drinking from it what you need at any point in time. Just like when you are thirsty, you drink what you need. When you are hungry, you eat what you need. Maybe sometime a little bit more, but that's all right. So it is in the same way that when you are seeking any information, it is about not so much about the information, but unlocking within you ways in which you can tap into that inner wisdom that is available to you through your inner being, or your soul, or your higher self, whatever it is that you want to call it. In some ways, we feel a sense of responsibility for humanity because there is certain things that we have brought forth and shared with you in the past that has allowed you to be where you are, but in some ways, there is so much that's being withheld from you. But truly, it is about humans accepting this dance of creation and understanding how to create in a way that is aligned with your well-being. It is very simple and it is fun. So, we are ready to receive your curiosities, as we are certain you are ready to receive our answers. Whoever is ready must walk up here so we can converse with you.